but it's kind of like if you don't know what route he's running or it's a horrible route, it's kind of like that it's gonna come from y'all to the receivers. Coach can only like tell you what play to do. Y'all gotta actually like take control. Like
Shedeur Sanders just walked into Colorado practice and exposed Julian Lewis's biggest quarterback weakness on film in front of the whole room. And Juju Lewis went off, locking in on every word. Here's what happened. Shedeur returned to Boulder to coach up the young Colorado quarterbacks, and while breaking down film, he identified the exact flaw that sank the Buffalo's 3-9 season: read progression and receiver discipline. Shedeur said it directly: if your receiver isn't running the right route, you're setting yourself up for failure. You can't anticipate, you can't play in rhythm, you'll never have the right reads. The weakness that defined Colorado's collapse, diagnosed by the quarterback who built the program. Here's every word. Here's the full Colorado practice session and why Shedeur Sanders returning to expose and fix the QB room's biggest weakness is the most significant offseason mentorship story in college football. Bleacher Report confirmed Shedeur Sanders took a break from competing for the Cleveland Browns QB1 job to return to Boulder and contribute to a film session attended by Colorado players, including redshirt freshman Julian Lewis. The context matters. After Shedeur left for the NFL, Colorado went 3-9 in 2025, a dramatic fall from the program he led. Deion Sanders has yet to name a 2026 starter, with Juju Lewis now in his second round of competition against transfer Isaac Wilson, the younger brother of Zach Wilson. And into that uncertainty walked Shedeur to expose the exact weakness holding the young quarterbacks back. 3-9. That was Colorado without Shedeur Sanders. The program that went 9-4 with him at quarterback collapsed the moment he left. And the weakness Shedeur exposed in this film session, read progression and receiver discipline, is the precise difference between a 9-win quarterback and a 3-win season. He didn't just visit, he diagnosed the problem. And here is the exact weakness Shedeur exposed, the read progression flaw that Julian Lewis went off absorbing. Breaking down a play on film, Shedeur explained why a quarterback can't survive when his receivers aren't disciplined. If you chose to go to this side and somebody's not doing what it says to do, you can't anticipate anything. You can't play in rhythm. You could beat the pressure by playing in rhythm, but if you don't know what route he's running, or it's a horrible route, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. You may have success now, but over time, it's going to catch up. Yahoo Sports headlined it, "Setting Yourself Up for Failure. Shedeur Sanders shares brutal QB lesson with Julian Lewis." The brutal lesson? A quarterback's biggest weakness isn't his arm. It's playing without rhythm because the offense around him isn't disciplined. Setting yourself up for failure, Shedeur's exact words. The weakness isn't physical, it's the rhythm and anticipation that collapse when a quarterback doesn't command his receivers. That's what sank Colorado's 3-9 season, and that's what Shedeur exposed and started fixing in one film session.
Disposal is diabolical. Let's check it out.
Does that make sense? The slot receiver, the zebra. Okay, we're good on this play. No issues? So he should be running the 10-yard rat right there, slant. He should be flat down that line.
Okay. So do y'all like get on their ass? Y'all just think like because it's like what I'm thinking is if you chose to go to this side and you didn't choose to play up top, right? Mm-hmm. Then I'm thinking like so then you'll be stuck with the ball in your hand. Now you get hit and somebody not doing what it says to do. You know what I'm saying? So you can't anticipate anything. You can't play in rhythm. Because obviously, like, you could beat the pressure with playing in rhythm, but it's kind of like if you don't know what route he's running or if it's a horrible route, it's kind of like you setting yourself up for failure. You may have success now doing it, but over time, it's going to catch up when it catches up. So like, I think you got to be disciplined on the receivers, at least get in the right spots. Because then your feet would tie up to that, you know. Mm-hmm. Then you could think about, okay, if this happens, if it's pressure now, break quicker, you know. But if you can't run the right route,
Yeah, that's a horrible.
Basically, then it's kind of like you'll never have the right reads.
You'll never have the right reads. Now here's the part where Juju Lewis went off, where Shedeur pushed the young QBs to stop being passive and start commanding the offense. Here is the moment Shedeur pushed Juju Lewis and the Colorado quarterbacks to go off, to stop being passive and take command. Shedeur didn't just diagnose the weakness, he prescribed the fix, and it was pointed. I think y'all gotta get on their ass. I think they're too passive. At least have them run the right route. At least make y'all's jobs somewhat easier, because it's 10 times harder when they're not playing in rhythm or not playing at the correct speed that it says on the paper. The fix for the biggest quarterback weakness isn't a mechanical adjustment, it's leadership. Shedeur is teaching Juju that an elite quarterback commands his receivers, holds them accountable, demands discipline, and refuses to be passive. That's the trait that separated Shedeur's 9-win Colorado team from the 3-9 version that followed. Y'all gotta get on their ass. They're too passive. Shedeur's prescription. The weakness was passivity. The fix is command. And Juju Lewis, the former 5-star recruit, locked in on every word, because this is the exact leadership gap between a talented young quarterback and a quarterback who wins games. Shedeur went 9-4. The room he's coaching went 3-9. The difference is what he's teaching right now. And here is the pre-snap mastery that Shedeur exposed Juju still needs to develop. The read progression depth that defines elite quarterback play. Shedeur walked the quarterbacks through the layered thinking. It's not just as simple as one-on-one, it's all these different general ideas you gotta think about. If this is a premier look, then cool, but if he's sitting inside, yes, technically you're right by going one-on-one, but it's a bad look. You gotta take what the coach is saying, but feel what's actually going on. Pre-snap, post-snap, coverage shells, leverage, pressure adjustments. Shedeur exposed that the biggest quarterback weakness is processing all of it in real time. And he's teaching Juju to see the field the way he does, the way that made him the most accurate quarterback in college football and a record-breaking pro. Take what the coach is saying, but feel what's actually going on. That's the difference between a quarterback who runs the play and a quarterback who reads the game. Shedeur exposed that Juju isn't there yet, and then started teaching him how to get there. That's not an embarrassment. That's the most valuable coaching a young QB can get.
But that's it. I think it's just like y'all gotta get on the ass though. I think they too passive. So at least have them run the right route. So at least make y'all jobs like somewhat easier, bro. Because it's 10 times harder them not playing in rhythm or them not playing at the correct speed that it says on the paper. It tells you what route that is. And you run in between the slant and the dig. You could go to the next one, but yeah, that's how I was seeing it.
It's really 1A, 1B, OTB shallow to 2A, 2B to the check swing. Okay, but the post is there. Okay, like, don't even think about that. All right, so I know that you're thinking about the post based off if you're late to the OTB or the shallow. Okay, so right now, as I catch the ball, if the safety's standing right in the middle of the field, I'm letting it like, that might be a flat throw. Okay, so I know we like to loft things up. That might be a drag it on them right there, okay, when you're working. Okay, so if we like the one-on-one, let's take the one-on-one. If we don't like that, right, remember, and I'm looking at the one-on-one to
press or off in the bang.
Yeah, I try to eliminate it when it's a press more times than not.
Okay.
But based off shell, going right or left.
Okay, if even if he is pressed, then it's still okay. If it's pressing its head up press, you went inside and then you break flat. You get what I'm saying? That's fine.
Yeah.
But say they're off and they're inside sitting, then what?
No.
So it's like pre-snap. It's not just like simple as one-on-one, and it's not simple. Like it's all these different general ideas you got to think about. Like if this is a premier look, then okay, cool. But if he's sitting inside, now yes, technically you're right by going to the one-on-one, but it's a bad look. You get what I'm saying?
Take what the coach is saying, but feel what's actually going on. That's NFL-level quarterback processing. Now here's why Shedeur doing this for free, right before his own NFL season, is the most respected mentorship move in college football. Here is why Shedeur exposing and fixing Juju's weakness is the most significant mentorship story in football right now. John Liquidator made the point that the entire football world is recognizing. For all the people that got mad that Shedeur's name got retired in the rafters, I don't recall other former Colorado quarterbacks coming there to coach them up. Coach Prime was doing that with his Hall of Fame partners, but I don't know too many doing what Shedeur did, especially right when they're done. Shedeur Sanders is in the middle of an NFL quarterback competition with Deshaun Watson. He could spend every offseason hour at the UNLV Fertitta complex preparing for his own season, and he is. Bleacher Report confirmed he returned to UNLV to train. But first, he made a stop in Boulder to teach the young quarterbacks the exact lessons that made him great. That's not a quarterback worried about being replaced. That's a quarterback secure enough to build the next one. Most NFL quarterbacks in a starting battle protect every minute of their prep. Shedeur spent his teaching Juju Lewis the read progression weakness that sank Colorado's season. One mindset hoards, the other builds. And the player who built one of the most watched college programs in America is now building its future for free on his own time. That's the leadership the Browns are evaluating in their QB1 competition, on full display in Boulder. And here is what Juju Lewis himself has said about the mentorship, confirming the going off is gratitude, not embarrassment. Juju Lewis said of Shedeur, "It's definitely a blessing for me to have a guy like him. Me and Shedeur talked about it. We came in on different paths, but just looking at it from another black quarterback is always good to hear from. Understanding their path, it's humbling." The five-star recruit isn't humiliated by Shedeur exposing his weakness, he's grateful for it. Because the quarterback who broke the NFL merchandise record went 9-4 at Colorado and became the most accurate passer in college football is personally teaching him how to fix the exact flaw standing between him and the starting job. Juju going off isn't frustration, it's a young quarterback locking in on the best lesson of his life. Here is what really happened at Colorado practice. Shedeur Sanders exposed the read progression and receiver discipline weakness that sank a 3-9 season. He prescribed the fix: command, discipline, take control. He taught NFL-level pre-snap processing, and Juju Lewis went off, locking in, absorbing, and committing to the lesson. The quarterback the NFL passed on is building the next Colorado quarterback for free right before his own season. That's the mentor. That's the leader.
Here is the complete Colorado practice picture. Shedeur Sanders returned to Boulder to coach Juju Lewis, Isaac Wilson, and the Colorado QB room. A well-off media film session. The weakness exposed: read progression and receiver discipline. If your receiver isn't running the right route, you're setting yourself up for failure. You can't play in rhythm, you'll never have the right reads. The context: Colorado went 3-9 without Shedeur after going 9-4 with him. The prescription: get on their ass. They're too passive. Take control. Make your job easier. The NFL level teaching: take what the coach says, but feel what's actually going on. Juju's response: it's a blessing to have a guy like him. It's humbling. In the respect, Shedeur did this for free right before his own NFL season, while no other Colorado QB did. The weakness exposed. The fix was taught. The future is built. That's Shedeur Sanders. Setting yourself up for failure. Shedeur exposed the weakness. Take control. Shedeur prescribed the fix. Juju locked in. The quarterback the NFL passed on is building the next one for free before his own season.
Julian Lewis went off, locking in on every word after Shedeur Sanders exposed his biggest quarterback weakness at Colorado practice. Shedeur returned to Boulder and diagnosed the exact flaw that sank the Buffalo's 3-9 season: read progression and receiver discipline. If your receiver isn't running the right route, you're setting yourself up for failure. You can't play in rhythm, you'll never have the right reads. Then he prescribed the fix. Get on their ass. They're too passive. Take control. He taught NFL-level pre-snap processing. Take what the coach says, but feel what's actually going on. And Juju, the 5-star recruit, called it a blessing and humbling. Shedeur did this for free, right before his own NFL season, while no other former Colorado quarterback bothered. The weakness exposed, the fix was taught, the future is built. Drop a comment. Is Shedeur coaching up the next Colorado quarterback for free the most underrated leadership move of his career?